Hey, Shalom, Yasha Allah, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father. We say, Call Allah, Abanawa Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. I hope you, brothers and sisters, are having a wonderful night. Welcome to another War Zone Wednesdays. There's your brother Mahar. And if you brothers want to, do the normal weekly tradition.
Hey,
Hey,
Shalom.
Shalom. Go
Dang.
ahead, Ak.
See, they so excited to introduce themselves that they just go at the same time.
Hey, all our praises, man. Hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Israel. This your brother Yashwan by Yahweh Da.
Hey, Shalom, 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 Israel. It's your brother Shalak. All praise to Yahweh.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes spread abroad. This is your boy Shapar. All praise to the Most High.
Khan. And again, we are Yahweh's camp. Welcome to another War Zone Wednesdays. We're gonna do this one a little different this week. We're gonna do a little bit of current events, but we got a nice little presentation that I prepared so that we can learn some stuff. All right, we got a tumultuous time coming up, a tumultuous time, and the world is waxing worse. Um, things are going crazy out there. We still got the wars and rumors of wars going on. We still have famines in different places. And we're going to try and break it down through the spirit, right? So sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab a little snack, and chill, right? I think first we're going to touch on a little bit of current events because usually, I like doing the current events. So, um, you know, it's a time for Israel to buckle down, right? This should be the time where our people should be looking for their God, right? This is the time that our people should be looking for Yahweh and essentially returning to Him. Every time in the scriptures, when you look back at it, whenever Israel went off, the Most High punished them, right? And this is what we're going through now. We're going through our punishment. We're going through our captivity. Lord willing, this is the final captivity that we're going through, but we're definitely going through a captivity. And, this captivity, Lord willing, like I said, should be the last one. And it's almost different from the other ones, but at the same time, it's not. Um, there's no new thing under the sun. So it happened before and it's going to happen again. But like I said, hopefully this is the last one. But Israel should be focused on coming back to their God, right? But instead, Israel is distracted, right? So a few of the things that Israel is distracted with, like the P. Diddy scandal, right? Um, they're worried about sports. They're worried about entertainment. They're worried about everything else other than the Most High, right? One of the things that they're working on, or that they're uh, one of the things that they are distracted with would be this eclipse that's coming up, right? There's an eclipse coming up, and it's supposed to be a big thing, right, in the world, coming up on April 8th, I believe. And Israel is distracted with it, and it's just another eclipse, right? But the Most High did say that He was going to be showing signs in the skies, right? So let's check out a little bit about this eclipse and let's see what they're talking about.
Solar eclipse. So we're supposed to be having a solar eclipse. Now, the last solar eclipse we had was 7 years ago. This one is going to form a perfect X. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to keep it real with you guys. They're talking about National Guard pulling up. Prepare your food and beverages for the next 2 weeks. The grid might go down. All these different zuzus and whams that ain't never happened on any other eclipse. Why this one?
Now, listen to what he's saying. He's talking about, the eclipse and how everybody's treating this one different from any other eclipse, right? Why aren't they acting like this towards what's happening in the entire world, right? Why ain't they worrying about, the Russia-Ukraine war, right? Why aren't they worried about, keeping the commandments of the Lord, right? They're worried about everything else except for what needs to be worried about, right? But let's keep going.
You tell me why the National Guard has to pull up for an eclipse. Is this a message, a sign from God, or some totally different shit that they're putting down? I just can't trust it no more, man. But I got my water, my Rogaine, my Just for Men, and my sopas packed up. So let's go. For reals, I'm ready for whatever. Hey, if the lights go out, I'm going to shine bright like a diamond. For reals.
Yeah, he ain't going to be shining too bright because he ain't keeping the commandments of the Lord. And we know that the only ones that are going to be shining bright are the ones that are keeping the commandments of the Lord. Here's another crazy one.
It's on mute.
Huh?
This video ain't got no sound.
Oh, yeah, it definitely got sound. You can't hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Let me see.
Could you hear Shapar?
I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh, man. Hold on. Let me start it again.
This guy
what I'm about to tell you about the upcoming solar
Can you hear it now?
Con, y'all can hear it now.
Okay, Con.
eclipse on April 8th is going to blow your mind. In Matthew chapter 12, Jesus said that an evil and adulterous generation will seek for a sign, but they will receive none except for the sign of Jonah. And in Luke 17, Jesus said that as it was in the days of Noah, so also will it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. So get this, the path that the solar eclipse is taking will literally cross over the city of Jonah, Texas, several cities and towns named Nineveh, and it will cross over Rapture, Indiana. And not only that, it will cross over where the Ark is in Williamston, Kentucky. But that's not all. All of this will be taking place under the constellation of Cetus, the whale. To keep up with Bible prophecy, follow or subscribe now. What I'm about to
Now, we know this chick ain't got an ounce of Bible prophecy on her, right? Hey, King Shalak, can you grab me, let me see, Matthew 24. We're going to start at 34.
Con, I had a precept I was holding real quick.
Bring it out. What you got?
This is Acts 2:19.
Let me pull it up on
And
screen.
I will shew wonders in heaven above,
Right.
and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come.
Right. You might as well read 21 and 22 also, because this is Christianity's favorite saying. Right. Keep going.
Con. Verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear
Who?
these words. Ye men of Israel.
Hear these words. There you go. So, as we can see, it's only talking to Israel, and this is New Testament. But grab me this Matthew 24:34 about Shah.
Con. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 34. But, Salaki, Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and
Mhm.
earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
Now, Salakia, real quick. So when he says that all these things are going to be fulfilled, that this generation will not pass until all these things are fulfilled. Let me actually click this real quick, Salakia. What does that mean? Right? Has everything been fulfilled? Has Christ come back? Has Christ avenged the Most High for the children of Israel? Right? Has he gone to Edom and stomped them into oblivion? La. Keep going, King. You there, Shalak? You on mute?
Can y'all hear me?
Con.
Salakia, my joint just lagged out.
Oh, it's all good. You good now, though?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay.
I'm on
Con.
verse
Pick up at
36.
pick up at 36.
Con, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
Mm-hmm.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right. Keep going.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark,
Mm-hmm.
and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right. So, again, she's clueless about what's going on in this precept, but it's telling you to watch for these signs, right? And when Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds, you're gonna know, right? And that's also a cut to the Trinity, right? Because how can Yahweh Shai not know, when he's coming if he's supposed to be the Most High, right? So that's a cut to that. But people are going on as they are, right? They're not giving a damn about what's going on in the world, right? Eating, drinking, partying, right? Fornicating, doing everything that they're not supposed to be doing, right? Everything that's against the Most High. And he said he's going to be coming like a thief in the night, right? Yahweh Shai is going to literally come like when you least expect it, right? I ate the water for that. Let's see where else. Okay, so everybody's worried about, like I said, Israel's distracted with the eclipse. Israel is distracted with this Puff Daddy scandal, right? A while back, Puff Daddy was being sued by his ex, who is Cassie. He was real quick to brush it under the rug and try to pay her off and get it out of the way. But that's not helping anything, right? Now more people are coming out revealing everything that this man, who they claim to be the Jake version of, what's that dude's name? The white boy. Damn it.
You talking about Andrew Tate?
No, not Andrew Tate. What's the other dude that was being accused of touching everybody and fondling, damn it, he's like a director.
Was it Weinstein?
Yes, Weinstein, right? They're saying that he's the Jake version of Weinstein, which is crazy. But Jake will always jump on another Jake, right? And Jake will always put down another Jake more faster than he would put down an Edomite, right? And that's one of the curses of our people. Like, everybody is jumping on this. I mean, the ultimate opportunist, 50 Cent, he's jumping on it, right? He's trying to, he's talking a whole bunch of trash, and he's talking about that he's going to be making a surviving Diddy, just like they did surviving R. Kelly and surviving Epstein and all these other mockumentaries that they've done in the past. He's talking about doing a surviving Diddy, and it's pretty crazy. But everybody is going off on him. A lot of the stuff that he's doing in the darkness is coming to light, right? All his homosexual activity, and the Most High said that this was going to happen, right? He said he was going to lift the skirt of this entire place. And that's exactly what he's doing. Everything that's being done in the dark is being revealed in the light, right? And this is all of the Most High's will. This entire establishment is coming down right before our very eyes, right? There was a in the allegation section of the court documents, it's pointing to a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of other celebrities, right? One of them is supposedly a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Now, we all know that that's probably Meek Mill, allegedly. And people have been coming for Meek Mill as well, right? Because, hey, the skirt is being lifted on Babylon. Let's see what else they're going after. More distractions. Biden versus Trump. Right. Everybody is glued to their screens for Biden versus Trump. Did you have something, King?
Oh, Salakia. Just as you were going into all these celebrities getting exposed,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to interrupt the
No, you're good, King. Bring it out.
lesson, but being that me and you are both kind of like wrestling fans, old school wrestling fans, you see how WWE is getting exposed, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're just coming out with like some of the acts that they're doing to employees, and also like they a couple of days ago I was seeing some stuff on YouTube where it was going into how the executives and like the CEOs and the high ranking board members have been covering up what Vince McMahon has been doing in that corporation. And if you go into detail and you read some of that, if you go into some of the case, I mean, Esau's just wilding out, man. He's really showing his perverseness. But yeah, man, just going into how these celebrities are getting exposed, man. So
Absolutely. I mean, I saw some very grotesque. I mean, he talking about taking dumps on people's heads and stuff, Salakia, but that's disgusting, but Esau is vile. Esau is disgusting. Matter of fact, let's bring that out in the precept. Let's get Hebrews, the classic.
Salakia, but I had a precept.
What you got?
Khan, and like just to add into how you speaking on these high celebrities, even when the whole WWE thing about all these people that are getting exposed. I got right here 1 Peter 4:17, where it says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh?" So, those obviously, those people, they don't keep the commandments. They don't really care. Diddy, he out there doing his nasty escapades, all these high ranked celebrities doing all types of abominable things. Over time, they try to hide it, but eventually, that skirt gets lifted up and judgment comes upon you.
Right. And the Most High said everything done in the dark is going to come to light eventually. And one major part about that precept is in the second section where it says, "Them that obey not the gospel." Right? The brother Shalak just said it, right? They're not obeying the Most High. They're not obeying his laws, statutes, and commandments. And for that, all this stuff is happening to them, right? He says, "Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things will be added on to you." I highly doubt that any of these people are even bothering to even look twice at seeking the kingdom. They're trying to make the kingdom on earth, right? Let's bring out the classic, Hebrews 12 and 16.
Khan, I can read it for you, King.
Khan, the water.
Khan, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So just like the brothers going into, man, like we know Jake, man. Jake gets a lot of this wicked, his wicked ways, man. He learns them from Esau because, like the Bible says, least there be any fornicator or profane person like Esau, basically saying there's not a nation alive that's more profane or more into more fornication than the so-called white man, who in the Bible is referred to as an Edomite. So yeah, like you were saying, man, we know like Diddy and all that's getting exposed, Meek Mills, a lot of these celebrities. But if you really look into these high and ranked members of society, majority of them Edomites, and the stuff that the exposure that they're getting and how they're getting exposed in this media, it's just straight fornication and perverseness.
Right. And just like the brother said, exposing Esau. And tonight, Lord willing, I'll be able to help expose, because we always hear, everybody talking about the elite. But can we really put a face to that term, the elite? Right? We usually don't. Okay, but hopefully, we can dispel some of that and actually open up some eyes to who the elite actually is. Right? I'll just go over a few more and then I guess we can get started with the presentation. But how's your supermarket pricing going? Last time I checked, that inflation is going crazy, right? Like last year, the price of eggs was damn near $4, $5, $6, and depending where you at, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? I know people in New York were paying almost $10 for a carton of eggs. Right? It's gone down, but there's still there's a new term that they have now. They coined it. It's called shrinkflation. Right? So they lower down the price, or they'll raise the price a little bit, but they'll lower down the contents of the bag. Right? Say you get a bag of chips that's supposed to be 9.7 ounces. Right? The old bag. Now it would be probably 8.2. Right? So they're charging you more sneakily, but that's the way that Esau works. Esau will throw a rock at you and hide his hand. Right? He does these things, and that's why he's called the serpent. Right? He does these things very haphazardly and very secretly. He's very secretive about his stuff. But so from gathering all this information, supermarket prices are up 31% from 2 years ago. And it's insane. 31%. Imagine that. Let's see. Another thing that that's going on in the world is Haiti, right? Our brothers over in Haiti, our brothers over in the Dominican Republic, right? Stuff is getting real crazy over there. So what happened is over in Haiti is that the gang members, actually, let's watch this. Let's see what's going on.
Humanitarian crisis in Haiti. Aid groups warn.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, Khan.
Okay, Khan.
That roughly 1 million people are at risk of starvation amid political chaos and violence by armed groups. And this morning, the U.S. State Department says it's making evacuation plans for American citizens.
We're going to begin this morning with the desperate and very dangerous situation in Haiti, a country that is very close to collapse. Gang attacks in the suburbs near the capital left at least a dozen people dead yesterday. CBS News has now confirmed that.
Now, Salakia, what's happening, and that right there, that's the president or the former president of Haiti. He hightailed it out, he jumped on the first plane he could to get the hell out of Haiti, right? Because Haiti is literally eating itself alive. So from my understanding, a couple of the local gangs, right, decided to get together. They stormed a prison or a few prisons and released all of the prisoners that were in those prisons. So now you have, and they obviously linked up with the gangs. Some of them, went on their own, but now they're literally taking over Haiti. They're in a constant, they're fighting against the Haitian military right now. They're harassing and terrorizing their people, right? And they're doing all this, and it's crazy and causing so many more problems than what need to be there. But the president, he hightailed it out of here.
That the prime minister, his name is Ariel Henry, who agreed to resign last week, is now under U.S. Secret Service protection.
Collective grief and fear have overwhelmed Petro.
And look at that. He left Haiti where he was ruling, right? And ran where? He ran to his Edomite counterpart, right? To look for protection for his life. But he's like, forget about Haiti. F Haiti, essentially. Excuse the language, but
Pétionville, on the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. Several lifeless bodies were found in the streets on Monday after the neighborhood came under attack.
These victims were people who were just looking to feed their children in the evening before going home. They're the ones who come home late. Among them, there are public transport drivers who have left more than 5 children behind. I recognize some of them.
While the details of what took place are still unclear, many locals say that armed bandits had been spreading terror in the area since the morning.
Last night, around 11 p.m., as we were sitting here, 2 young boys suddenly appeared and opened fire on our brothers. They didn't address anyone. They just came up and started shooting.
It's one of the latest incidents in the ongoing political and humanitarian crisis that is raging in Haiti after a recent surge in.
Now they're blocking it out because they're showing dead bodies in that footage. They're showing the dead bodies that are lying in the streets, right? That may not be the great city, but it doesn't mean that the curses aren't affecting our brothers over there in Haiti, our brothers and sisters, right? The Most High said that that our bodies will be lying in the great city, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, right? They're going through Egypt over there, right? They're going through Sodom over there as well. These are curses that are going to follow the Israelites wherever they go. It doesn't matter if you go to Europe. It doesn't matter if you go to Australia. It doesn't matter if you go to Africa. It doesn't matter if you go to Russia. The curses are still going to follow you anywhere you go, right?
Gang violence plunged the nation into chaos. According to UNICEF, Haitians trapped by violence are suffering from famine and malnutrition, and humanitarian aid is hard to deliver. At an emergency meeting last week, representatives from the UN, United States, and the Caribbean, among others, created a blueprint for Haitians to form a transitional authority, which would govern the country until elections can be held. They hope the authority will lead the country out of crisis, but humanitarian groups fear it is sliding towards civil war.
Now, I mean, I wish that we could do something to help our brothers and sisters over in Haiti, but this is the Most High's will, right? This is what he's ordained. He essentially put out a disclaimer: worship me or die. It's pretty cut and dry. Do my commandments and live, or leave my commandments and die, right? But it's not only in Haiti that this is happening. We're going to go to Cuba, right? Now, Cuba, who would be the so-called Mennonites, they're protesting in the street right now. Why? Because of the same conditions, famine, right? They have a lack of power. The local government has stopped essentially caring about what's going on with the power structure there. and they just let it go to waste, right? They're shooting up the fuel. I think I saw 518%, right? They've increased the fuel prices. Now, mind you, all this stuff is going to be coming here, right? As a matter of fact, it's already starting to come here. It's already been coming here, right? Prices are going up, fuel prices, food prices, electricity prices, water prices, everything is shooting up.
Tensions reaching a boiling point in Cuba. Hundreds of people participated Sunday in a rare public protest amid a worsening economic crisis that has left everyday Cubans without enough food, electricity, or medication. Cuban-run TV showing people flooding the streets of the island's second largest city, Santiago de Cuba. Demonstrators seen chanting for electricity and food, as some Cubans have experienced power outages for more than 18 hours a day.
I think there are 3 crises going on at the same time.
Imagine that. Imagine having to live, 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, 2 weeks without electricity.
Time, an economic crisis, a social crisis, and now a political crisis.
Today, Cubans struggle with increasing shortages in food, medicine, fuel, and power. Inflation has risen sharply, making many products unaffordable for Cubans who depend on an average monthly state salary, the equivalent of just $16. Earlier this month, gasoline price hikes also went into effect, in some cases raising gas prices about 500%. In another rare move, Cuba has asked the UN World Food Programme for assistance, requesting powdered milk for young children. All this while the Cuban peso has plummeted.
Inflation has really gone crazy over the last couple of years, to the point where if your salary is entirely in Cuban pesos, its value has deteriorated about 90% compared to the US dollar in just the last 2 years. Younger Cubans have sort of lost hope in the possibility that it's going to get better anytime soon.
So as you can see, the shit is hitting the fan, right? And it's just going to get worse. And this is what I'm hoping that Israel can understand, right? Whenever we bring out these lessons, whenever we go out on the streets, whenever we try to prophesy to our people, the only thing that we want them to understand is that they are children of God and that they need to come and serve their God so that they don't have to deal with stuff like this, right? So he can have favor for them so that they can gain favor. But they're stiff-necked and hard-hearted people. And, it's hard to get through to people who already think that they know everything that's going on. And they have that false sense of being able to control it, right? Oh, I'll just work another job. Oh, I'll just work another job, until you see them working 4 or 5 jobs. You don't have that much time in the week, right? But, I'm showing all these things to sort of illustrate the point of why is this stuff happening, right? We know that it's because of the Most High, but who is the sword of the Most High, right? Who are the people that are oppressing our people, right? Hopefully, Lord willing, we're going to try to expose that tonight, right? Let's see what we got. All right. We are going to try to expose that today. All right, let's see what we got here. Boom. We got a PowerPoint. Oh, man. So I'm doing this PowerPoint more or less, like I said, to sort of expose this world, right? Expose the different people and the different systems that this world uses to oppress our people, the systems that they use to cause our people to go into famines, that cause our people to, go into sin, right? to not love their brother, right? To do whatever it is that they think they want to do, right? So the way that I'm going to actually, that I'm going to do this, this is probably going to be it's going to be broken down into different weeks, right? I'm going to see if I can, anytime it's my turn to put up a lesson, I'm going to see if I go into exposing this. Maybe I'll do it sooner, maybe I'll do it later, but essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to expose Babylon, right? If you look to the left, can y'all all see that?
On.
Okay, Khan. So you can see that structure right there. That structure that you see on the left side, that is, it's a typical structure for capitalism, right? And we can see this in the world, right? It's a hierarchy, right? At the top, we have who would we call the elites, right? That's who I'm going to be going into today. Right, we call them elites, but we know that they're not really elites. We know that they're just vagabonds roaming the earth. Right, we're going to do that today. The next lesson that I'm going to be doing is going to be on the religious and political aspects of this world and how they use religion against us and how they use politics against us. Right, that's going to be TBD. Hopefully, Lord willing, I'll be able to do it the next go around. The next thing we're going to touch on is the banking industry, right? We're going to see how this world works, how the money works in this world, right? There's a great book. It's called Modern Money Mechanics, right? These are books that they'll never give to us, just like the Russian Icons book. They'll never give that to us, right? But that book, Modern Money Mechanics, actually shows the way that they have this entire thing structured and how it's based on a credit-based system, right? We literally use monopoly money, as I like to call it. It's called a fiat currency, and I'm going to go into breaking that down as well. Of course, TBD. We're going to figure out when it's going to be coming on, but, stay tuned. I'll probably post updates on the Red channel to let you know when it's going to be happening. Then we're going to go into the military aspect, right? They use their religious and political leaders to sort of keep us in check, and like it says on the picture, to fool us, right? And then in turn, they use the military to sort of keep us in line, right? That discipline, that belt that they have around their waist, right? Again, it's going to be TBD. The next one is going to be the celebrity or the high society branch, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be exposing all of our celebrities, all the people that we love. I'm going to, bring up evidence, right? Because the Most High says to prove all things. So I'm going to bring out evidence showing the malfunction of having this celebrity high society branch, right? All they're doing is waving their money in our face, and our people want to be like them. Our people want to emulate them, right? Everything that they do, our people want to do, right? They start a new style. Our people want to join and sort of follow in that new style, right? They say it's cool to be homosexual. What do our people do? Our people want to run to be homosexual, right? And, Lord willing, I'll be able to expose that as well, right? Again, TBD. I may do that. We're going to see. I may switch it up a little bit, but, and then the fifth tier is us, right? The slaves, right? The ones that are in captivity right now. That'd be us, right? And, again, that one's going to be TBD as well. So let's start it off. The elites, right? The faux power in this world, right? And the meaning of faux, right? When they say you have a faux fur or faux leather, right? Or faux couches, right? It's essentially fake, right? That's the cut and dry word to use is fake, right? Or seeming to be faux, seeming to be. Actually, as a matter of fact, why don't I pull up this? Why don't I pull up the meaning for faux, just so that we can see what it means, right? Let's see. Let's pull it up real quick. Okay.
Faux.
Faux, made in imitation, artificial, right? Not genuine, fake or false. And that's what this world is. And that's what these elites are. Fake and false, right? They're wielding a power that they don't understand, right? Because it was given to them by the Most High. The Most High understands it, but they don't understand it, right? So let's see, who are the players? Who are, we always say, who are the elite, right? Hopefully we can put a face to who these elite people are, right? Who are they? We always hear that, the elite, the elite, the elite. Let's find out. Through my research, I've learned, and we already knew this that the majority of them all come from Europe, right? They're all of European backgrounds, Irish, right? German is a big one. German is seriously a big one with these elites, and you'll see that soon. Russian, right? You got your Vladimir Putins, you got your royal families over there in the Kremlin, right? You got Dutch, right? And they're basically European, or Esau, Edom, right? Most of these fiends migrated from the east, right, to the west. I've said this in the past, but if you try to look up the U.S. or North America, South America, and Central America, you're not going to find it on a map past the 1400s, right? Because they weren't really dealing with this side of the world during that time. You're just going to find maps that show Europe, Asia, Africa, and the so-called Middle East, right? Let's go into the first set of Edomites, right? This is the Walton family. I'm sure you've heard of the Walton family, right? Irish descent, of course, Edom. They're so-called philanthropists. You know who else are philanthropists? Bill Gates. A lot of these wicked Edomites are philanthropists, and they've done nothing with their philanthropy except oppress us more with it, right? Their net worth is $250 billion. That's how much money that through their assets they accumulate. And again, all these numbers are ballpark figures because there's ways where you can hide money to where that money is not attached to you, right? And I'm sure that all of these Edomites know that way. Samuel Walton Sr. is the father of the Walton, or should I say the progenitor of the Walton family, right? Through his sons, Sam Jr. and Bud, they started the empire. Like, he had a little thing, but they took it and they ran with it, right? They established Walmart in 1962. And Walmart, I mean, you can find anything in Walmart. Like, a lot of our people spend the majority of their time in Walmart. I mean, there used to be a term back in the day called Club Walmart when they were open 24 hours, right? Like, people would go there just to chill, right? Especially when you get out the club or whatever. Jake always loved going somewhere to chill. Walmart was one of those places, right? They also established Sam's Club in 1983. Some of the assets, you have Arvest Bank, right? Arvest Bank is one of the assets that the Waltons have, right? It was founded in 1871. They actually purchased this from another Edomite that was dealing in business. They essentially, Esau feeds off of Esau, right? They're like vultures. So if you see something going down, Esau is going to come in, swoop it off their hands, and try to make some money with it. So that's exactly what they did. They make about 200 million per year, right? They're located in Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Okay, that's the headquarters of their business, right? Harvest Bank. So I would say try to stay away from them, but I mean, we're in captivity, so you really can't stay away from banks. Another one, Walmart, the famous one, right? Our favorite. It was founded again, 1962, right? They make about $611 billion per year. That is insane. That's an insane amount of money, right? They sell all the essentials, food, clothing. They do entertainment. They do automotive. They do sporting equipment. You name it, Walmart does it, right? The only precept that I can think of with this is us having to get our stuff from our oppressor, right? One of y'all brothers want to bring that out?
Hey, Salaki, that's the spirit. I was just finna bring out Deuteronomy 28 and 43.
Bring it out.
That's the one that's the same one that you was finna get to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the spirit. But kind of, it was just powerful what you were going into, even like you said, going back to the curses. I'm gonna bring this out. This Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee, right? And in this context, that stranger is talking about Esau, right? Like the brother going into, right? He a stranger in this land, right? This land belonged to the indigenous people, and his people came over here and raped, robbed, and murdered and stole everything, right? So he says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. And look at him. He stole this land, and now he up above us really high. He owned, like the brother going into, he owned all these multi-billion-dollar corporations. He owned Walmart, right? He owned all the banks, right? The credit union, right? But what happened to the indigenous people? Do any of the indigenous people, do they own any of these multi-billion-dollar corporations and they own land? No, they living on reservations, right? They living in poverty, right? But the stranger that came to this land and stole this land, now he got up above us very high because we broke the commandments. It says, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee. And that's powerful what you were going into, how most of these families own all these banks, right? So they literally have to lend to us, like going into even getting a loan. If we want a loan, to get a house, right, we got to go to them. And they have to lend us a loan just to get whatever we need, right? Even going to their supermarkets, they got to lend to us food, clothing, right? Everything that we need on an everyday basis. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail, right? Like even going into that first picture you showed with that pyramid, right? Going into the different hierarchies of power, right? Esau, he the one that run the government, right? He the one that run the military, right? We the ones that take orders from him. He the one that come up with all the laws. He pass all the bills, right? Whatever he say, go, and we gotta follow by that, right? There you go. But that was all I had on that, though.
The water. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy, and this is where I was up to, but the next thing I was going to touch on was worldwide, right? They are worldwide, right? They have about 11,000 known Walmart locations, and that's spread across every single continent, right? If you look on your map, you're going to see a Walmart at least minimum within 20 miles distance from your location anywhere in the world, right? This is strategic. This was done on purpose, right? Because he's a cunning hunter. Let's keep going. Let's talk about the assets that they own, right? They own assets. And it's so crazy because I would have never known this if I didn't start researching this, right? They own sports teams, right? They own KSE. Now, KSE is Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. It's another Edomite, endowment or another Edomite establishment that, of course, the Walton family took over. Now, how did they take over it? Because one of the Walton daughters laid her claws into the dude that owns this Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. And of course, once a woman lays her claws in you, it's hard to get them off, But they own KSE, right? They own the LA Rams, right? They own the Colorado Avalanche. They own the Denver Nuggets. They own the Colorado Rapids. That's a soccer team, right? And I'm just touching on the bare minimum of the things that they own, because the asset portfolio is insane of all this that I've researched. It's crazy, right? They own SoFi Stadium, right? That's a big stadium for sporting events. They own Elitch Gardens. That's a theme park in Denver, Colorado. I've been there a couple times. It's actually it's decent, It's pretty good. I spent plenty of money there, but it is what it is. They own Altitude Sports, which actually is one of the networks that they use to show a lot of these games, like the LA Rams, the Denver Nugget games. It's used, again, as a television network to air all these games, right? And many more. Now, another thing on that Altitude Sports network, they show a lot of Edomite attributes, right? They show outdoor, the camping programming, hunting programming, right? They show fishing programming, and all of this stuff is all the stuff that Esau loves doing, right? Who's a better hunter than Esau? I don't know, not many, right? Let's keep going. They have other ventures, right? They have art galleries. They're mainly in Arkansas, but they have little specks of art galleries around the country as well. And a lot of the artists that they show are prominent artists, right? Like you're going to find your Norman Rockwells, your Andy Warhols, your Georgia O'Keeffe stuff. They have a museum actually in Arkansas that they portray a lot of this stuff in, and they show a lot of, Edomite history, a lot of things that they hold dear to their hearts, right? They own ballets, right? They own charter schools. Now that charter schools, that took me for a kicker, right? Because our people believe that going to a charter school is actually better than going to a public school. Now I say that if it's owned by Esau, it ain't for you, right? And those charter schools, a lot of them are owned by Esau. Like they donate and they hold these charter schools up for millions upon billions at a time, so that they can do what? So that they can push their curriculum, so that they can teach you what they want you to learn, right? And you're going to see that's going to be a common theme in this entire presentation. Let's keep going. All right, we're going to go into the second family. All right, the Mars family. They're of French descent, of course, Edom, right? More philanthropists. Their net worth is about $150 billion. From what? What the hell do they do that's worth $150? You know what they do? They sell candy to us. They sell junk food, right? Their company was started by a guy named Frank Mars. Of course, he came from France. You know, he had a dream, right? Just like MLK. He had a dream to fatten up everybody with chocolate. That was his dream. They were established in 1911, right? Let's look at some of their assets, right? Of course, you know, they have chocolate, they have Milky Ways, right? Kind bars, Snickers, right? One of my personal favorites, Starbursts, right? Twix. I love me some Twix. But not only do they deal with chocolate, right? And making our children unhealthy, right? They also make your animals unhealthy, right? They deal with pet food, right? Whiskas, Eukanuba, right? M&M's, of course, Iams, right? Skittles, right? Juicy fruit. I know when I was young, I used to eat the mess out of juicy fruit. And pedigree dog food, right? Mars, Wrigley. That's the Wrigley, like the spearmint gums, the Winter Fresh. Like if you look at all the lines of everything that's owned by the Mars company, it's pretty crazy when you see the majority of all the stuff that they put out, right? You got a precept, King? Salakia, my bad. I wasn't even looking at the screen. Bring it out. What you got?
Hey, this is a powerful lesson, man, because as I'm sitting back watching you do this presentation and the slideshow, it's fire. Man, like these rich, wealthy Edomite families, man, like you really exposing how they own everything. And when you was going into the Waltons, that precept, the classic, popped up in my head. I don't know if you got it already for the lesson, but Job 9:24.
Bring it out, King.
So this is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And this is the classic. It reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So like the brother's going into with the lesson, the scripture says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And this is a classic precept that gets brought out a lot of times, but you're seeing the evidence of it. I mean, the Waltons, and that was crazy because the last scene that you had in that slideshow about the Waltons, the last part you pulled out said it was worldwide, meaning like the whole earth in that context. These people, they have all the riches of the earth. You know what I mean? They have all the wealth while we're sitting here week to week trying to make ends meet and trying to figure out how we're supposed to pay these bills and take care of our families. You're talking about families that have billions and billions of dollars, and it says they cover up the faces of the judges. The real judges of the earth are the saints, who are the Israelites. And like Joshua was going into earlier, you know, they unjustly took this land. They have no deed. They have no deeds for this land. They came and took it from our forefathers, and now they're sitting back getting filthy rich. You see that? Like it says at the bottom, worldwide. This is worldwide wealth. These people have money in the billions, and that's just per year. So these people are probably trillionaires. While the indigenous people of this land, the Israelites, are just trying to get by. But you know, it's a powerful lesson, King. And like I said, that Job 9:24 just popped up in my head.
God, hey, all praises. You know, these are the things that we should be thinking about as a people, right? We should be thinking about the fact that, that Esau is evil, right? We should be thinking about precepts that link up to the fact that he is evil and that he is wicked, right? Let's keep going. We're going to get into the next family of scumbags. Their names are the Koch brothers, or like they like to say, the Koch brothers, right? Here they are. German descent. There's going to be a lot of Germans in here, right? They have major political ties, right? One thing about them is that they play both sides, right? They don't care what the heck is going on. What their main focus on is any of the laws and any of the statutes that are beneficial to them, right? They worry about all the tax breaks, right? They worry about all the tax loops, all of those laws that get them out, and all of the laws that subject the people even more, right? They have a lot of businesses also. Businesses I never even knew people could have, right? They're a business family. Their net worth, again, these are all what they report on paper. But I'm sure that a lot of these people have other sources that don't show their true net worth. But their net worth is about 150 billion, right? And that was as of 2013. Right? Hey, King Kazak, Shalom, King. Yabashim Yashabakata.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Yabashim Yashabakatham. Hey, this is a powerful lesson, King.
Hey, Khan, the water. All praise to the Most High, right?
Hey, Shalom, Kazak, Yahweh Shema Shabrakatah.
Shalom, Shalom.
So, the Koch brothers or the Koch brothers, right? Net worth $150 billion, right? And like I said, they play both sides of politics, right? They mostly lean towards conservative ideology, but they also touch on liberal and democratic stuff, right? Like I said, they worry about everything that benefits the rich. And right now, at this very moment, the Democrats aren't as popular because they are trying to attack the rich, so to speak, right? So they lean more towards conservative, again, the tax breaks, the tax loops, and anything that can get them more finance, more fortune, and raise that net worth right there, right? They have an immense portfolio of assets, and they put it under what's called Koch or Koch Industries, right? Let's check out some of those assets, right, of the Koch industry. First one up, Georgia Pacific, right? Georgia Pacific is a pretty big hub on toiletries, on paper towel. I mean, let's keep going. You'll see. Angel Soft. I know a couple of y'all like having that smooth booty after you use the bathroom or whatever. Well, Angel Soft, owned by the Koch brothers. Let's keep going.
Hey, pause.
Pause. Brawny paper towels, right? I know back in the day, Brawny used to have some funny commercials. They own Dixie paperware, that be plates, cups. What else does Dixie, like they have like paper cups, paper plates, plastic, styrofoam. They own a lot of different, or they run a different, Salakia. Dixie produces a bunch of different products. All right, let's keep going. Mardi Gras napkins, right? Quilted Northern, another smooth butt paper product, right? But we ain't done yet. We're going to keep going. More assets of the Koch brothers. Enterprise Software, right? They own the company that runs or that produces a lot of enterprise software or software that is used in multiple different establishments, right? CRM, that's client relation management. That's usually for accounting firms, uh, tax firms, right? Any firm or any kind of place that has to deal with a lot of people, right? Even I'm sure in their own industries, I'm sure Walmart uses a type of CRM software. They get it from these bastards right here, right? Their software is also for the health industry, right? The machine that hooks up to the IV that tells the IV how much stuff or how much liquid should be pumped into your blood is produced by the Koch industry, right? Hospitality, retail, marketing, financial, all the software that you could think of that runs places. Like if we go to a McDonald's, McDonald's has a computer program that they enter in whatever it is that you're getting. It sends a message to the back produces your food. The same thing with every other place. Bojangles. I mean, like sky's the limit. And I'm going to show you a couple of other places that they use it at right there. When the name of it is actually Infor, that's the name of the enterprise software company that they use or that they own that produces a lot of this stuff. The Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. Now, Wyndham has a lot of chains. I think they have Motel 8, I think it is. Holiday Inn. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of Wyndham hotels and resorts that run off of the software that the Koch brothers deliver to them. Bosch and Lomb. These are, again, more things that their company produces assets for. Bosch and Lomb usually deal in contacts. Like if you have contacts, you'll probably be getting it from Bosch and Lomb. Best Western Hotels and Resorts, right? They produce all the software that is used in all of these places. Okay. Heineken. I know I drink a lot of Heineken. Well, I used to drink a lot of Heineken. I don't drink it no more. Now I drink Corona. And of course, many more, right? It's crazy when you think that a lot of these things are in the background, right? We never think about any of this stuff that happens in the background. We never think about the software aspect of it, but that obviously is a market that needs to be filled, right? Let's see the next one. Now we're going to get into the real crazies, right? These last, I believe it's last 3 or 4 are going to be the last ones, and they're going to be the big fish or the bigger fish of the bunch. Now, I was trying to focus more on the U.S. rich or the U.S. so-called elite. But the elite also spans across the world, right? Like there's a rich family in Saudi Arabia, but we know that is Ishmael, right? We know that his 12 princes were blessed by the Most High, and they have their own thing going on. But at the top of the food chain is going to be Esau, right? Let's go to that classic over in Psalms 83. Excuse me.
Khan, I got that for you.
Psalms 83 and 6. Khan, bring it out, King.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 6. The tabernacles, you want me to start at 5 though?
Yeah, Khan, start at 5.
Okay. 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Meaning they are against us, right? Keep going.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Number 1, the tabernacles of Edom. They are at the top of the food chain, so to speak. Keep going, King.
And the Ishmaelites
of
Moab and the Hagarenes,
the
Baal and Ammon and Amalek,
the
the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre
Mhm.
Assyria also is joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot.
Salah, right? And these are all the nations that are against us as a people. Right? And as you can see, or if you haven't been able to figure it out, a lot of the stuff that we're bringing up is Esau, right? A lot of these companies is Esau, right? Again, at the top of the food chain, right? So let's keep going because we're going to be getting into these big fish now. All right. The Morgans, okay? Everybody knows JP Morgan, right? How about his brother? How about their father? Right? They're of Welsh descent. Now, Welsh is usually points to England, but then also Welsh can point to Irish. So we're going to point to what God called them, and that's Edom, right? They're a banking and business dynasty, right? When you hear that word dynasty, there has to be some kind of power behind them, right? The word wasn't made for no reason, right? They're worth about 40 billion right now. Now, here's the thing is that it was much more than 40 billion, right? But because of a lot of their inheritance being passed down to all these other heathens, right? It's been spaced out, right? So now a lot of their fortune isn't in their family, right? But one thing that makes them important is the fact that they have a lot of old money, right? These next three titans that you're going to be hearing about have a lot of old money, right? They may not have a big bank account, but their ties run deeper than money, right? JP Morgan, which is the first one, this one with the big nose in the middle, that's JP Morgan, right? He's a tycoon. He dealt in, when he first came over to the country, he started dealing in railroads, right? He started his own railroad, and what he would do is he would purchase or he would make offers to the other railroad companies. Or what he would do is he would have some of his political friends do things to where the other railroad companies would go out of business. And what he would do is come in and scoop them right up, right? So he would be called a railroad tycoon, right? They even have a saying for him, his own term. It's called Morganization, right? And that would be exactly what I just said. He would maneuver out his opponents or his adversaries, and he would scoop up all of their holdings. So at one point, he owned more than 70% of all the railroads across the country. Make that make sense, right? Like I said, he's a part of old money, right? The money was there before him, and the money is there after him. Okay. Let's see some of the industries that they own, or let's see some of the assets that JP Morgan owns. Like I said, he started off in the railroad industry. He started picking off his opponents left and right. Exactly, a monopoly. Absolutely. He was one of the first Edomites in the game to start doing the monopoly business, right? He was trying to make himself a monopoly. But later on down the line, and we're going to go into that also, the government actually forced Theodore Roosevelt, the most wicked of them all. Theodore Roosevelt actually started pushing laws against all of these monopolies and forced them to relinquish their assets, right? JP Morgan Chase, that's one of the assets. Now, it used to be Chase Bank, and then JP Morgan was separate, right? But then, of course, he pulled a Morganization, right? He swooped in on his enemy, He scooped up their holdings, and there was a bunch of mergers going on. So now they have the JP Morgan Chase Company, right? The worldwide banking, they bring in about $126 billion a year. And that was as of 2012, right? And that's what I'm saying is that though the numbers that it says on his portfolio is 40 billion, if his bank brings in 126 billion a year, then something's not right. Right? Aetna, that's a healthcare service. That's a part of the healthcare industry, right? Another thing he would invest in, and I'll get into it, is steel, right? His steel industry, he was a part of it. General Electric, he owns General Electric. They deal with aerospace. They deal with energy. That's electric, fuel, everything that you could think of that has to do with energy is dealt with General Electric, right? They sell appliances. I'm sure if you go into your kitchen, I'm sure you have a couple of General Electric appliances. Did you have something, King? Okay, Con. So General Electric is one of their assets. Con Edison, I know I'm not the only one that has to deal with these bastards. Excuse my French. But Con Edison, they deal with energy, right? They deal with your electric, and they have other endeavors that they're actually pursuing. You would have to research that. It's pretty crazy, all the stuff that is actually run by these people. DuPont. Here's another example of someone swooping in on their enemy, right? DuPont used to belong to the DuPont family, right? I know Elder Zaquan brings out the DuPonts whenever he brings it out on the street, right? He talks about the DuPonts. The DuPonts got overtaken by the Morgans, or JP Morgan, right? He swooped in on his enemies and picked up their shares in the DuPont, and they deal with textiles, they deal with paint, they deal with a lot of other things. What else? The can company, right? A can company, it's a company that everybody sends their products to, and they can it up for you and send it out to the stores, right? They deal with about 80% of all the cans that are in the world or in the US come from something owned by JP Morgan and his family, right? And this is what I was talking about. USS, that's United States Steel. They own this. It's a steel industry, and they deal with state and federal resources regarding steel. Any building that has been erected in this world, or actually in the US, probably has JP Morgan's steel company as their steel manufacturer. All right, let's keep going. General Motors, man, they own General Motors. General Motors has, let's see, we got GMC, right? Your Denali's, your Acadias, all your GMC cars come from General Motors, right? Buick, right? If you've ever had a Buick Century in your life, I know, back in the day, Mama Dukes used to drive a 1984 Buick Century. That thing was clean. Cadillac. If you own anything from Cadillac, it's from General Motors. Therefore, it's owned by JP Morgan. Chevrolet, right? Anything that has to do with Chevrolet, those Chevy Camaros, that's JP Morgan. Western Union. If you have ever sent money through Western Union, right, that 40 billion is definitely off. And that's what I was saying earlier. You own all of these companies, right? Or you have a controlling interest in these companies, and 40 billion is on your tab. That don't make no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. There's definitely hidden profits in there somewhere. Western Union, right? If you've ever sent any money abroad, or if you've ever sent any money to your family, or if you've ever had money sent to you from your family, best and believe that it's going to go through JP Morgan's hands. The wicked. Now we're going to get into the next set of wicked Edomites, the Rockefellers. Man, look at these ugly mugs. German, more German descent for Edom. Another banking, industrial, business, and political dynasty. These people have their hands in literally everything. When I tell you, my mind almost blew up from searching all the stuff that they own. I couldn't even, if I brought you to the page that shows all their assets that they've listed, you won't even believe it. I'm just going to try and touch on a few, but they own a lot of aspects of this world. And again, another old money situation, right? Now, here's another one that's a little crazy, because some people say they have 11 billion, or their net worth is 11 billion. Some people say it's 400 billion. In reality, it's unknown what these people truly have as an asset, or what they truly have in their bank accounts, or what kind of wealth they truly have. They just go by the stuff that they publicly portray to everybody else. Let's see what else. Let's see how their fortune was started. Petroleum and oil, right? When they immigrated here from Germany, they started dealing in the oil industry, in the petroleum. That's oil. That deals with gas. That deals with diesel. That deals with, I mean, you name it. Whatever oil that's used for energy, this is their avenue. Right? Standard Oil was the first company that they created. Right? And like I said, they deal with a lot of petroleum, a lot of oil. They own the majority of the oil reservoirs in this country. From that Standard Oil company, they were actually the current president at that time tried to hit them with a monopoly charge, right? And forced them to break up their Standard Oil company. So in turn, their Standard Oil company maybe spread out to maybe about 10 or 11 different companies from that one company, right? One of the companies is ExxonMobil. Now, we know that Exxon and Mobil used to be a separate company, right? So they've somehow merged Exxon and Mobil, which used to be their companies, but they merged them together to be one company again. What else? Chevron gasoline, right? Chevron, there's a lot of Chevrons depending on what side of the country you're in. You'll see a bunch of Chevrons. Did you have something, King?
Salakia, yeah, kind of. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a powerful lesson you bringing out. And it goes right along with, certain prophecies too that fit Esau, right? So I wanted to bring this out in Genesis real quick. But this the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. It says, and Esau lifted up his voice and wept, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And that's literally what you've been bringing out this whole time about these different Edomite families and how they got control over all these different companies and businesses and corporations. Like, it's blowing my mind. I'm sitting here listening, and I knew a lot of this stuff, but even I didn't even know how many different businesses that some of these families own. Like, they literally own everything.
Literally, and we haven't even touched. We just touching the surface.
And it's crazy. Like, everything that we need and that we want on an everyday basis, things that we need to survive, goes through them. So he literally fit the prophecy. Like, this is his blessing. But a lot of people don't believe us when we say, Esau is a so-called white man. But he the one that literally fits all the prophecies. Like, don't no other nation of people fit the prophecy of Esau but the so-called white man.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? What other nation got this much power in this earth? Just like the brother Shapar brought out in Job 9:24. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. They run everything. Don't no other nation of people on the planet got more control over the earth than Esau. Right? But that's all I have on that.
Hey, and that's a powerful precept. See, that's one thing, between us and between the so-called Christians, right, who say they love God again, but we already know the precepts of that. They love him in mouth, but in actions they don't. But it's sickening, because all you have, even if we didn't know who was who, if we just went by the prophecies of the scriptures, you can see that who owns the fatness of the world? It ain't Moab, right? It's not Ammon. It's not even, look, it's not even Canaan. It's not even the Canaanites. And the Canaanites have one of the richest resources of land in the entire globe.
Salaki, and you see that, like the brother saying, like, we're not saying all these other nations don't have some type of power, but what we saying is compared to the so-called white man, it's like on a small scale compared to him. Because even like you're talking about all the resources that's in Africa, what nation of people taking over Africa? Right? What nation of people took over South Africa? Right? Esau, he taking over that land as well. You see that? So he taking over the whole earth, right? And don't no other nation on the planet got as much power as he do, right?
And there you have it, right? Nobody else does the things that Esau does. He is literally like an eagle, a predator, right? And he was blessed with the fatness of this earth. And that is exactly what I'm attempting to show you right now, is the fact that Esau does have the fatness of the earth. He may not walk around with brag. That's one of the difference between Jake and Esau, right? Is that Jake will show off his assets. Jake will show off, with the $5 million gold chains or platinum chains, right? Jake will show off, crazy clothing or expensive clothing. Esau doesn't do that. Esau will go to the dollar store and get him a pair of pants. I'm being facetious, but Esau will show off his dad pants and his grandma's shirt and shit. Excuse my French, but he doesn't flaunt it like our people do, right? Our people flaunt it because we have that style, we have that salt of the earth. They don't have that salt of the earth. They want that salt of the earth, but they'll never get it. Let's see, back to the screen. All right, so we were on Chevron. All right. Next one, Texaco. All right. I think Texaco merged into these other company. I think it merged into Chevron. So now it's a Chevron company. But if we go anywhere, we'll still probably still see a Texaco company or a Texaco gas station somewhere. Let's see what else. Banking, right? We know JP Morgan, right? JP Morgan Chase & Co. belongs to JP Morgan. So why is it in the Rockefeller section? Make that make sense. Why is JP Morgan Chase and Company in the Rockefeller section? Can anybody tell me? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
Money.
Absolutely. You see that company section, that JP Morgan Chase and Company, they own about 40% of JP Morgan's company, which is insane. How does your rival own almost as many shares in your company as you do? But this is what Esau does. All right, what else we got? I know they have other companies also, but none that we would know. Little small operations. Politicians, the Rockefellers as politicians. Okay. Nelson Rockefeller. Right. He was the governor of New York from 1959 to 1973. Who else? Let's see. What else was he? He was the vice president of the United States of America from 1974 to 1977. Mind you, this is a so-called civilian, right? One of the richest families in the world was sitting as a vice president of the United States of America. I'm sure he could have been president, but he already runs, or he already is a part of a large monetary valued family. I don't need the presidency. It'll just be more headaches, right? Like imagine the type of ego that you need to just say, I'm okay with just vice president. I don't need that president. Insane. Winthrop Rockefeller, another Edomite. He was the governor of Arkansas from 67 to 71. Who else we got? John D. Rockefeller. There he is, the ugly mug. He was the governor of West Virginia from 77 to 85. Right? These are only 3 of the Rockefellers that I'm bringing out here. Their entire family, they have over 250 members of their family. Easy 300 members that are in prominent positions of power throughout the world. And I'm just bringing up 3, 4, maybe 5. This is insane, the amount of fatness that they have. All right. He was also a U.S. Senator from 85 until 2015. That's a lot of time as a U.S. Senator. So imagine all the sway, imagine all the power or all the politicking that these people could do behind the scenes to get certain laws passed to, again, benefit the rich or benefit their family and to put our family down further. Right? Here's a quote from John D. Rockefeller, one of the idiots that you just saw in the previous slides. He says, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. What does that mean? What does that mean? right? They also owned the General Education Board, right? Absolutely. They're putting themselves in the position so that they can make certain plays. Exactly. What you got, King?
Hey, Salaki, y'all had another precept in
Come on, bring it up.
Obadiah, just to go along with what you're saying. This another prophecy that fit Esau, right? It says, this Obadiah, verse 4, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would not, Salakia, would they not have stolen till they had enough? Right? And that's the question we asking, right? Look how much wealth Esau has accumulated off of the rape, rob, and murder of our people. And it's getting to the point where these so-called elites, they so greedy where they even steal for their own people. They don't even care about their own people. And that's powerful what you're going into, because these families, they worth billions of dollars, but you still got Edomites in America that's homeless, right? They don't got nowhere to stay. They ain't got no food.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Washington D.C. right now, you're gonna see Edomites living in tents, right, with no food, right, no shelter, right. But this they own people. They so-called elites got billions of dollars and they can't even help their own people. That just go to show you how evil and greedy Esau is, right? It says, if these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Right? So they can't even leave some grapes to their own people. They said, damn, the hell with my people, as long as I'm rich. Hey, you already know they don't care about us, but damn, they don't even care about their own people. Right? These people that's in power, that's rich, that got billions of dollars, they'd rather, continue to live that lifestyle for them and their family, but they could care less about their own people. Right? Verse 6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right? But that was it on that.
Come on. Right? And last time I checked, ain't that a commandment? Right? It's a commandment for the Israelites. Right? If you go into your neighbor's vineyard or the grape fields, you gotta leave some grapes on there. You can't glean the whole thing. But if you leave it to Esau, he's gonna glean the whole damn thing. Plus, he's gonna be taking everything else.
Hey, Salaki, in our laws it say that we're not supposed to use usury on our brothers, but Esau don't give a damn. He'll use usury on anybody.
Right. He'll use it. Look, the interest rates are crazy. If you ever look at the interest rates on your stuff, on credit cards, anywhere from 24 to 30% on interest rates, right? The housing market right now, the interest rate is up to 8%. 8%. So if you buy a $300,000 house, 8% of that off of your monthly payment, the majority of that is going to, say, for example, you have an $1,800 monthly payment on your house loan or your mortgage, right? And I'm going to be touching on mortgage also, because mortgage, if you break that word down, I'm going to be touching on that in one of the future classes when I start going into the banking industry. But mortgage, essentially, if you break that word down, is mort gauge, right? They're gauging when your death is, and they do that through the loans. But back to the topic. So if you look at your mortgage loan and say you have an 8% mortgage rate, if you have an $1,800 monthly mortgage loan payment, at least 1,300 of that, 13 to 1,400 of that mortgage payment is going to go to interest alone. And then some of it is going to go to taxes, and then the rest of it is going to go to the principal. The principal is the main money. So if you did 300,000, that principal that's left would be like $400. So that 300,000 is down by $400, but everything else went to taxes and went to interest to pay them. Make that make sense. That's usury if I ever seen it myself. King Shalak, or you got something, King?
Yeah, I wanted to just add real quick, Salakia.
Come on, bring it out.
That like how you're bringing it out with, you know, these big, you know, Edomite families that got deep ties with deep money and stuff, or they just have their hands in so many corporations and things. I was gonna say also that a lot of those, you know, big name families, without you may knowing it, a lot of them got ties deep into the prison system. And you know, I'm looking here as well that on this is the Fordham Law News EDU website, that prison systems, you know, they bring in around 74 billion a year. So that's just more money that they put into their pockets, and more money that they themselves are, you know, putting in to keep our people out of its trodden state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it's called the private prison system, right? It's all private. And again, I'm going to touch on this in either the banking class, or I'm thinking maybe I might throw it into the political class. I think I'll probably just leave it in the banking class, but all of this stuff is all tied into their game. They are literally playing a game with all of us. Like, this is all a game to them. Right? It's called the private prison system, and they make money based on how many prisoners they have. I'm gonna put that into the banking section. I may touch on these more.
Salakia, if I say technically, it could go into both of those.
Yeah.
It is just as much as it is about money, it is into the politics.
Right. Hey, Salakia, can you grab me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and we'll go 1 to we'll go 1 to 9. I bet yet no 1 to 11. Salakia. Baba Gashan.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and little spark in the moving of our heart.
Essentially, they're saying we're just here for a little time. So, you know, we're here for a little time. Keep going, King, and it'll show you why.
With being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as a soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again.
And here's the point of why they feel like their life is just a very shadow that passeth away, or like a mist that just poof, or like a cloud that it just puffs away. Go ahead, read that.
Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth.
They want to use the creatures, which would be us, right? That's why they act the way they do. That's why they do the things that they do, right? Because they know that their life is just a puff of smoke, right? And they don't mean anything, right? So they want to continuously use everybody else that they can, right? Keep going, King.
Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us.
Mm-hmm.
Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered.
And they're
Let
trying to, Salakia, my bad. They're trying to rush everything. They're trying to do it as they're trying to do what's called strike while the iron is hot, right? They're trying to strike while the iron is hot. Keep going, King.
let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place.
Is that not
For
what
this,
they do? Leave tokens in every place that they go, right? Whether it be a statue, whether it be a crest somewhere, whether it be a practice, one of their satanic practices. Don't they leave all this stuff? Keep going.
For this is our portion, and our lot is this.
And here's more kicker right here in this verse 10.
Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged.
Meaning that they're going to do whatever they can to anybody that they want to, right? It don't matter if you're old. It don't matter if you're young. They don't give a damn. You better have my money like a true pimp. Okay? Their actions are literally the actions of a true pimp. And then they use other people to smack you instead of them smacking you themselves. That's crazy. Hey, Shallow. Oh, damn. Cap just came in and then he must have got kicked out. But let's keep going. Let's keep going with this. Let's see what we up to. We up to the General Education Board. Now, what's so important about the General Education Board? Let's find out. The General Education Board later turned into the International Education Board, meaning that they started at a local level and then made it into it worked so well that they moved it to an international level. Now, what worked so well? Well, let's go into it and let's find out what worked so well. They started in 1902 and they took control of the education system. That's what worked so well with them. They took control of the education system, right? So-called 1863, the first so-called African-American children attended schools, right? This was after slavery, right? Even though I'm trying to remember the exact date for when Juneteenth happened. Oh gosh, it's slipping my mind. Damn it. I'll think of it. If you could think about it, throw it in the comments, or if you brothers remember it, let me know. They were mostly established in the South. Why? Because slavery, the majority of slavery was taking place in the South. I'm going to bring you to the reason why I'm bringing this up. In 1877, the conservatives took control of the public schools. Okay. And then the conservatives made colored schools and they made them less funded. Right. And of course, that's like with everything. They fund their neighborhoods and they leave our neighborhoods in shambles. Right. So this is exactly what happened then. They tremendously less funded the school system. 1866. Hey, Tawada. So 1866 was Juneteenth, but our people were still in slavery, right? Mentally, of course, and they're still mentally enslaved. But let's keep going. And then came the public schools, right? The GE board, or the General Education Board, they started training our people, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, in the help positions. What do I mean by that? The help positions are all the positions where, like, being a maid or being a service tech or learning how to farm or learning how to upkeep farmland, right? And those were all jobs that our people were doing, right? Cotton picking, all of that stuff. They were sending our people to school to learn even more, right? So they're taking off the physical chains and they're keeping the mental chains on there, right? Because then our people started doing a lot of this stuff themselves, right? And started pushing it. Let's keep going. Now, here's a quote from William H. Baldwin, who is a partner, was one of the partners to the General Education Board that the Rockefellers started, right? Mind you, the Rockefellers started it. I think it was about $1.5 million that they put to purchase and to operate this General Education Board. But this is a quote from William H. Baldwin, who is one of their partners. He says, "Learn that any work, however menial, if well done, is dignified. Learn that the world will give full credit for labor and success, even though the skin is black. Learn that it is a mistake to be educated out of your necessary environment. Know that it is a crime for any teacher, white or black, to educate the Negro for positions which are not open to him. Know that the greatest opportunity for a successful life lies in the Southland where you were born, where the people know you and need you and will treat you far better than in any other section of the country." The reason that he brought this quote out was so that he can sort of play these mind games with our people, right? And tell them you don't need to go to the North, because around the same time was around the Civil War, right? He said, you don't need to worry about going to the North. They got nothing there for you. You stay here with us and we'll treat you well. We'll let you pick the finest cotton, right? We'll let you work the greatest gin mills, right? As long as you're in servitude to us, that's all that matters. That's a quote directly from one of their partners. And it's a real effed up quote. Here's another quote from them directly. "In our dream, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility," right? They want our people docile, right? To our molding hand. They want to mold all of our people so that we can do what they want us to do. The present educational conventions fade from their minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own good will upon a grateful and responsive rural folk. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or men of science. Yeah, instead they want them to be slaves all the time. We have not to raise up from among them authors, editors, poets, or men of letters. We shall not search for embryo great artists, painters, musicians, nor lawyers, doctors, preachers, politicians, statesmen, of whom we have an ample supply, meaning that Esau would be the only ones that would hold these positions of power, essentially, until our people started, getting into it as well. The task we set before ourselves is very simple, as well as a very beautiful one: to train these people as we find them to a perfectly ideal life just where they are. So we will organize our children into a little community and teach them to do in a perfect way the things their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way, in the homes, in the shops, and on the farm. This is an actual quote from these bastards. They just said that we don't want you in our home. We don't want you doing the stuff that you want to do. We want you to do the stuff that we want you to do.
Hey, Salakia.
Hey, what's up, King?
Hey, that was powerful, man. Them last two slides that you brought out with these quotes were powerful because it had me starting to think about the curses that our people are on.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of had me thinking about the lesson that I brought out a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept going into having that kingdom mind state or having a slave mind state. And we're seeing with the lesson that you're bringing out, we're seeing where the roots of that mind state of what our people have today and why our people have that mind state. Because when this so-called country was being formed and our people had came out of slavery and our people were being put on reservations and Esau was ruling over us, you see the mind state that it put on our people, right? It was like you were saying, we'll let you do the pick the finest of the cotton. We're gonna put on an impression that you're helping build up this country and that we're actually giving you something. But like you said, man, all these people want to do is have good slaves, right? Like you were saying, the chains have been took off our people, but mentally and spiritually we're still in chains because we're still serving these other nations, predominantly Esau,
Mm-hmm.
and he has us building up our country, their country, and our people are happy with it, right? Our people just want to be happy in America, and like you said, we want to be docile. But I got a little precept right quick. This
Oh,
is
bring it out.
This is going into the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 50. A nation of fair countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young. So these people, like, just breaking down that precept, these people don't care about us, right? They only care about riches. They only care about their wealth, right? This is quote unquote the land of opportunity to them people.
Mm-hmm.
And like these last two slides we're bringing out, if we just teach these people to be docile and just be happy with getting crumbs off the table, then we'll be able to be successful and being able to rule over them. So they don't care. They don't care nothing about us, whether youth or elder. They just want to rule over our people, and that's tied heavily into the curses that are on our people.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we wonder why our people want to, fight us. They fight us tooth and nail to get the same person that's been oppressing you for I don't even know how many years into the same kingdom that you have an opportunity to receive.
Khan, if you think about it, our people want to give these people salvation,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're supposed to be under the same God, and our people, whatever platform you teach them on, some of our people, they're like, well, salvation are for these people. What do they need to be saved from? They own everything in the world.
Right. Right. What do they need to be saved from? The people who need salvation is us. Let's keep going. So back to that same quote that I brought up before, right? It's the same quote. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. And now you can see through hindsight, through 2020 vision, why he made this statement, right? He made this statement because they already had a plan in place to push our people further down and elevate his people further up, which is complete BS. Okay. But yet, again, our people want to save these idiots. Don't make no sense. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know. Oh man. These bastards right here. Yeah, I think this is the final family that we're gonna cover. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Again, You know, they originated in Germany, right? I'm not even going there yet. They're uber rich. Okay. When I say uber rich, they're uber rich. You know, again, 1.2 trillion are in their net worth. And again, this is the money that they actually report to the public. We don't know about anything else that they have going on in their bank accounts, but 1.2 trillion is their net worth. And that was as of 2023. Okay. They're an international banking, business, and political dynasty. These are probably one of the most like top tier powerhouse families, right? You want to know who really runs this world? Is these bastards right here, and all the bastards that are like them. They were started from this guy, Mayer Amschel Rothschilds. That's him. This was back in the 1700s. Okay. They're also of Ish, you know, they think they're Ishes, right? They have crazy ties or immense ties throughout the entire world, right? They have real old money. And the thing is that I couldn't find a date back to their money at all, right? They say it's the 1700s. I don't believe that. I think it's far, far past that 1700s. And the reason why I say that is because absolutely, Revelation 2:9, we're going to get that too. The reason I say that is because their rise to power started, or should I say continued, during the Holy Roman Empire. These people have been active since the Roman Empire, right? Here's another one. And there's the most current one. Okay. Now, their name, Rothschilds, it's German for Zum Roten Schild, which means red shield. These are the red shields. Okay. This right there is their family crest. It says Concordia Industria Integritas, right? Which means harmony, integrity, and industry. Now, you tell me anywhere in this entire slideshow have you seen 1 ounce of integrity shown by these people? 1 ounce of harmony shown by these people? They got plenty of industry, but that harmony and integrity, it's not for everybody else, right? Some of their notable, and can somebody grab me Psalms 58:3 real quick? Some of their notable endeavors, right? I don't know if anybody's heard of the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is a shortcut that was created by man, of course, and these bastards have a ruling power in it. Okay, it's so that people shipping companies don't have to go around Africa in order to get to the so-called Middle East or to Asia, right? So they made this Suez Canal. They essentially blew a hole, or they blew, you know, through Egypt and Africa in order to make this little canal. And it's supposed to be a shortcut that they control, and the shipping go through, right? It usually takes about a day, maybe 2 days, 3 days. I know we used to do it when I was in the military. We used to do it as well. Did you have something?
Salaki, I was gonna say I do have that Psalms for you.
Okay, Khan. I'm gonna I'm gonna get to that real quick. Let me just finish this explaining. They, just like J.P. Morgan and his family, own a lot of the railroad companies that are in Europe and in Asia, right? They came into their monetary value through, again, oil companies, right? They deal with petroleum, they deal with oil. They came into their wealth through banking internationally, right? They own, I don't know if anybody's heard of the De Beers Diamond Company. Has anybody heard of that? Yeah, the De Beers. Let me see. The majority of all of the diamonds that are in the world come from De Beers. Let me pull it up real quick. And what they are is a diamond company. They're like a jeweler, they're right there on Fifth Avenue. They're all over there in Rodeo Drive. Like, this is in California. They deal with all diamonds, right? So they have a diamond mining establishment in Africa, of course, right? When you hear about that movie Blood Diamonds, right? This is probably the family they're talking about. They own a lot of mining companies in Africa and any other place that you could think of where you can find diamond mines. Give me that Psalms 58 and 3. Is that what
Yeah,
Let me see.
that's what you said.
Yeah, let me see if that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me grab that. All right, bring it out, King.
58 and 3, right?
Con.
This is Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, con.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Mm-hmm.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear,
Mm-hmm.
which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord.
Yeah. I mean, and going back to that, going back to the crest that they have, right? Let's bring this back up again. Their crest says harmony, integrity, and industry. Again, there is no harmony, there is no integrity, but there's a whole bunch of industry, right? They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies. And these are some of the lies that they tell. Some of the lies also that the Rockefellers tell, right? Let's go into a little bit of the Holy Roman Empire.
Hey, Salakia, can I add
Bring it
something?
out, King.
Yeah, so like it's funny how like with that precept, you feel me, it talks about the wicked also speaking lies. I
Mhm.
mean, Esau's such a devil and he's such a liar. He told on himself. Rothschild means red shield, and then your family emblem is a damn eagle, and you're rich, you're in a high state. Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm. Look at that at the very top. Big old eagle. Big old eagle. And what's even crazier is that this next section that we're getting into, dealing with the Holy Roman Empire, if you look at their emblem and their crest, theirs is a double-headed eagle with Christ on a cross in front of it. Oh, excuse me, Salakia. Caesar Borgias on a cross in front of them with all these different crests of all the countries that are joined, all the countries, all the families that are joined with the Holy Roman Empire. It's insane. I saw that thing. I was like, wow. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? And Esau can't hide themselves anymore. They can't. So, again, back to the Red Shields or the Rothschilds. They were started in 1744 by Mayer, right? He came to power, like I said, during the Holy Roman Empire, right? His father was a small-time banker, a silk merchant, and a small level prince, right? And I'll explain that in a few, but he was a small level prince. Then his son Mayer joined into the business aspect of what he was doing, and from there it took off, right? And he also married into wealth. He learned under a gentleman by the name of Wolf Jacob Oppenheimer. That Oppenheimer sounds kind of familiar, huh? Didn't Hollywood just release a movie called Oppenheimer? I guarantee you they have a connection there, right? So he married into his wealth. This dude Mayer, he married one of the royal family's servants, right, in England, and he started making his influential connections. When he joined into family with his father, he started dealing in precious metals, gold, coins. I mean, you name it. Like, he started dealing in it, right? Any way he could make money, he jumped right in it. And like I said, everything started flourishing from there. He became friends with William the Ninth, one of the kings of England at the time, and he oversaw his wealth, right? He oversaw the operation of all his wealth, where he was putting his money, any kind of bonds he might have done. And I'll deal with the bonds aspect when I start dealing with the banking class. But after that, once he married into that wealth and he started dealing with this William the Ninth, that's when his family, or the Rothschild family, started taking off. Now, I don't know how much we all know about the Holy Roman Empire, but the Holy Roman Empire, it started at the very end of the Western Roman Empire, or the regular Roman Empire. There was a war, of course, and then they split into two, right? Eastern and Western Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire turned into the Byzantine Empire, and then the Western Roman Empire turned into the Holy Roman Empire. And they were made up, the majority of the countries that made them up were Germany, Italy, and Burgundy, right? So just a little small tidbit of information. You can all research everything and find out for yourselves, of course, because I think a lot of this history is also lining up with a lot of the prophecy in the scriptures, right? You can see when certain dynasties, or when certain families went up and went down, when certain regions, it all lines up in prophecy, right? Another thing about them is they are warmongers, right? They finance both sides of the war. They've financed many wars, right? They financed the war to take out Napoleon. I was watching a documentary earlier, and it was about Napoleon and about the Rothschilds. And Napoleon essentially wanted to take over the world, right? Because he was very astute on military combat, and one thing that he wanted to do was he wanted to take over the world, right? What's that say? Look at the Battle of Waterloo. The Rothschilds made a lot of money at the time. They had inside info. Yeah, absolutely. Like, these bastards are the wicked of the wickedest, right? So Napoleon was getting a little too high and mighty on his horse. He's a little person. He got they've named a complex after him, Napoleon Complex, right? Because he was a little dude, and he thought that he was taller than the tallest man, right? So they frowned upon that. And they said, oh, really? So what they did secretly was they started funding the opposition. But at the same time, while they were funding the opposition, they were also funding Napoleon, right? So they were funding both sides of whatever war was going on with Napoleon. And essentially, whichever side came out on top, that was the side that was going to owe them big time and make them even richer than they already were, right? They financed both world wars, right? They financed World War I, they financed World War II. Again, playing both sides. They financed Hitler, they financed the US, they financed Germany, they financed Europe, right? So they were playing both sides of the fence, right? They're moving their chess pieces in the position that they wanted them to go. And that's one of the biggest differences between us and Esau, right? We want peace. We want to chill. We want to live our lives and serve our gods to the best of our abilities. But what they want to do is they want to play chess with us, right? We don't want to play with you. We don't. We're tired of playing with you. But in essence, they play chess and we play checkers, our people at least. Oh, yeah, they financed Hitler and the opposing side. Now let's check out the interesting stuff. Absolutely. They were the controllers of the former USSR, 85% of the government. Yep, absolutely. Even man, I'm gonna see if I bring it out at the end. But Putin had another press conference and he was showing off all of the background with all of the Russian icon images that we see in the books today, right? All of the black images, all the black faces, the brown faces, he shows it all. And you think they want that? Mm-mm. They don't want that seen by nobody. They want to keep this facade over as like. Anyway, let's keep going. So we're going to talk about the assets that these Red Shield or Rothschilds or these Edomites have in their possession, right? Now, the assets that I'm bringing out, they either own them straight out or they have a controlling interest in them, meaning a major stake in them, meaning that stuff can't go on unless they say so, right? Absolutely. Putin is exposing them, right? And don't get it twisted. Putin is also just like the celebrities. Putin is controlled opposition, right? He's exposing them, but it's for a further escalation into the state that they want us all in, right? They want us all subservient to them. That's why all the celebrities and all of these rich people already have bunkers made, right? Because that's what they're heading towards. They're trying to push it into a conflict so that they start releasing these nukes and bombs start falling and they're going to be in their shelters. But the Lord has something for them. The Lord said, we're going to be digging you out of those shelters. We're going to be digging you out of those walls, those holes in the walls. So back to the lesson. So, all of these assets that we're about to go into are assets that they either own straight out or they have a major controlling interest in. For all my video gamers, NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is one company that they own a lot of stock in, and they have a lot of say in NVIDIA. And if you can, we'll go into that, but if you can look at the logo and the insignia and stuff, that means something as well. Let's see what else they own. Oh man, Apple. I know a lot of people that got iPhones. I know a lot of people that got Macs. I know a lot of people that deal with Apple, period. Well, you're dealing directly with the Rothschilds. Okay. Google. They have a controlling interest in Google, right? Netflix. We all watch Netflix. They own that too. What else? JP Morgan Chase and Company. They are a piece of that company that is a part of JP Morgan Chase. Let's see what else. Microsoft. Bill Gates. He's in somebody's pocket, right? These are the puppet masters that are controlling Bill Gates and everybody else to do exactly what they want them to do, right? They don't have a say of their own. They're not going to all these different countries to make sure that the jump shot is administered. And when I say the jump shot, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thing that they force the majority of people to do, or lose their job or lose their livelihood, right? Bill Gates is just a puppet on strings, right? Absolutely, Gates is an ish, or at least he thinks he's an ish. Meta, right? Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Hey, that's pretty funny too. Everybody owns Chase but Chase. Yeah, that's funny. So Meta, Facebook, right? Instagram, all of these social media accounts that we have and that we use and we pour our souls and spirits into, right? They're owned by the Rothschilds. Let's keep going. The Blackstone Group. The Blackstone Group is a financial group that owns a lot of real estate. They own a lot of facilities. They own BlackRock Group, which is a subsidiary of the Blackstone Group. Spiritually, when you look at it, what is the black stone, right? They're talking about that Kaaba, that BS Kaaba that all these Muslims try to go around, right? And they kiss it and they worship it and all that good stuff, or all that horrible stuff. When you see the issues, when they do Passover celebrations or when they do rituals, they put they call it a tefillin, right? They put a black box on their foreheads and on their arms. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't see really anywhere in the scriptures where a tefillin is called for, right? People go to Leviticus. I've seen some go to Deuteronomy, where it talks about wrap it around your arms and around your forehead. I think, and again, my opinion, my breakdown of it, not everybody agrees, and that's okay. We all have different minds, but I think when it talks about wrapping it around between your eyes and around your arms, it's talking about keeping the commandments in your heart, which is your mind, right? And then wrapping it around your arm is talking about actually doing them and an actionable account of the commandments. Like, you can't do the commandments if you're not doing them, if that makes sense. Let's see what else they got. Verizon. Verizon is another company that they have a piece of. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see more assets. The second page. PayPal. I know a lot of people use PayPal. Berkshire Hathaway. This is a company that is owned by Warren Buffett, supposedly one of the richest people in the world. Obviously not that rich if you don't own your own company. eBay. They own stock in eBay. Johnson & Johnson. A lot of our products that we buy for our children, that we buy for ourselves, are Johnson & Johnson. What else? Merck. This is a pharmaceutical company. The drugs that we get, probably from Merck. Boeing. That's airplanes. CVS Pharmacy. That's CVS and Walgreens. I forget if it's CVS I think it's CVS if I remember correctly. CVS purchased Walgreens. So now they're the same company. They're separate as far as their branding. Let's see what else. Salesforce. Now, for all you admins, or you would know what Salesforce is. If you deal in sales, you know what Salesforce is, right? It's another CRM product. Absolutely. They own Congress and Senate. Hell yeah. What do you say? I found some info where Ish controlled the slave auctions in Jamaica, and from there, many of our people were sent to Canada. Absolutely. I could check it out. I'll check it out for you. I'm gonna write a note on that. Let's see what else. Oh man, damn. That McPherson you're about to eat, that McPherson burger, it's coming from them. Home Depot. This hurt me because I go to Home Depot and and Lowe's also. I love building some stuff, but let's keep going. Pfizer, man. And if I remember correctly, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer came out with jump shots for people to take. Yeah, Starbucks, I'm sure, is in there too. Let's see what else. And we went over this earlier. Damn. Walmart. They have about a 40% stock in Walmart. So though the Waltons own it physically, they obviously have to answer to somebody at a higher level. Target. Yep. Now I wanted to play this video. I don't think we're gonna have time, but it's definitely a good video.
Deals, betrayal, and a war that's lasted almost 100 years. This is what happened when the richest family in the world decided to create their own country.
Now, what they're about to go into, and I'm just going to play the first 2 minutes of it. They're going into the fact that, absolutely, yeah, they definitely want TikTok. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get TikTok banned. I think they have 6 months, I think, to figure out what they're trying to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these links of videos that I use for research also. And I'm going to throw them after this is done. I'm going to throw them into the more section of the video, and that way everybody can go into it themselves. But I'm just going to go over the first 2-3 minutes of this video. It's showing how Israel came to be, the state of Israel, not the people.
1917, the Rothschilds, the trillion-dollar family that invented modern-day banking, used their money, power, and influence to strike a secret.
Can you guys hear this?
Yeah, Khan.
Okay, Khan.
Backroom deals, betrayal, and a war that's lasted almost 100 years. This is what happened when the richest family in the world decided to create their own country. In 1917, the Rothschilds, the trillion-dollar family that invented modern-day banking, used their money, power, and influence to strike a secret deal with the British government. That deal eventually led to the creation of the country of Israel. But what makes this story more bizarre is the crazy personality of the man who orchestrated this deal.
Look at that. Look at that caveman. That dude looks like a true caveman. He looks like he's still in the cave.
Lord Walter Rothschild. Walter Rothschild was an enigmatic mega billionaire with so much money that instead of using horses to pull his carriage, he imported zebras from Africa just to show off. This same billionaire also had a super weird hobby of gathering insects and bugs, eventually amassing over 1 million butterflies, moths, and other insects. The Jews are some of the most intelligent, industrious people in the world. However, for years, the millions of Jews scattered around Europe had been trying to secure a large piece of land to start the country of Israel. But no matter how hard they tried, they got nothing. That was until they linked up with the super rich Walter Rothschild, a man who could change the world with the snap of his finger. By the early 1900s, the Rothschilds were already the most powerful family in Europe. They were so wealthy that they had even given loans to the entire country of France to stabilize the economy. However, aside from their power, the Rothschilds also had a reputation for being extremely ruthless. They wouldn't hesitate to wield their power as a weapon, to bulldoze through their enemies and crush anyone who opposed them. If the Rothschilds wanted something, they better get it, or they'd be hell to pay. Walter Rothschild made the calls he needed to make, pulled the strings he needed to pull, and in 1917, the British government sent Walter an official letter promising to do everything within their power to provide land for the creation of Israel. That letter redesigned the map of the world, and if you need proof, we have a copy of that letter.
November the 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
So it's possibly the most famous letter in modern Jewish history, and it begins with 3.
Now, this bastard right here to the left, that's one of his name is Jacob Rothschild. He actually passed away, I want to say last month. All praise to the Most High. The Most High is going to have Christ raise him back up just so he can kill him again.
Words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
That letter, nicknamed the Balfour Declaration, is proof that it was the Rothschild family that created Israel. But there's even more evidence. In this interview, the head of the Rothschild family proudly explains how his ancestors created Israel. The interviewer begins by asking the question that was on everyone's mind.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
The reason is obvious, because it was the Rothschilds' money, power, and influence that made the British government fall in line. Years later, Britain kept their promise to the Rothschilds and provided a large piece of land to start Israel. And in May 1948, the State of Israel was officially created. Although this was good news, the Rothschilds were just getting started. What the Rothschilds did next was even more impressive. They invested millions of dollars into Israel, building schools, roads, and everything needed to turn that piece of land into a beautiful country. James Rothschild single-handedly paid for Israel's Congress building, while Dorothy D. Rothschild paid for Israel's Supreme Court building. However, the more money the Rothschilds spent, the more problems they created.
And I think I'm going to cut it right there. Oh yeah, there's tremendous amounts of this story that we haven't even touched. if I kept touching it, we'd be here till maybe about 5 o'clock in the morning. But I'm gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna post the link in the more section or the description of the video after we're done. I think I have covered enough. Thoughts? Let me get some thoughts. My thoughts, and I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. This is why we need a savior, right? This is why we need the Hamashiach, right? This is why we need Yahweh Shai. This is why we need Yahweh, right? Because who can really fight against an enemy that literally owns and runs everything? It is impossible to fight against these tyrannical they're tyrants. What can I say? I wanted to bring out a few precepts if possible, and then if you brothers got any information, any thoughts on it, by all means bring it out. And hey, we're gonna get into it, right? And then we're gonna shut it down. Baba Kasha, grab me Zechariah 9:6, and then we're gonna go to we're gonna jump to 9.
Khan 9 and 6.
Yeah, Khan. We're just gonna do 9:6, and then we're gonna jump to 9.
Khan. Zechariah 9 and 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
What is he?
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
Mm-hmm.
And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
Mm-hmm. So both of those people who again are fighting over a land that doesn't belong to them, they're both going to be getting cut off, right? The bastards that are taking over that piece of land, plus the other bastards who think that they are entitled to that land. Now jump down to 9, and we're going to read down to 17.
Verse 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass. And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. And he shall speak peace unto the heathen, and his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning. And the Lord God shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with the whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour, and subdue with sling stones. And they shall drink, and make a noise as through wine. And they shall be filled with Salaki, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their God shall save them in that day, as the flock of his people. For they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids.
Absolutely. And all praises to the Most High. We pray for that day to come. Um, we can do nothing without him. And that is what we need to do as Israel, right? We need to come back to our Heavenly Father. We need to come back to his laws, statutes, and commandments. We need to honor him. We need to worship him, and give reverence to him, right? Keep the commandments and live, Israel. That's all I got. If any of y'all brothers got anything, bring it out.
Hey, Salakia, can I bring out a precept?
Come on, bring it out, King.
Hey, this is Psalm chapter 37 and verse 34. It says, wait on Yahweh and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. That's all I have. Keep the commandments and live. Like you said, we're the ones that need salvation, man. This lesson was pretty deep.
All praise to the Most High.
Keep the commandments and live, Israel. Have patience. We got to endure.
That's it. He says, he who endures to the end, the same shall be saved. That's all we have to do. We have to endure the same way that Hamashiach endured those beatings. That's the same way we have to endure. We're going to have to take it on the chin because we sinned, right? And we did wickedly against the Most High. And the last thing you want to do is be on his bad side. So, any of you brothers got anything else? If not, we're going to shut it down.
Hey, Salaki, I just got a question because I could tell you have been doing a lot of research about these topics, man. And I had heard something before. I just weren't sure. I didn't know if you had looked into it, but had you ever read anything about the Rothschilds, like starting the Federal Reserve and all that?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cover that when I go into the banking section. I'm gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the Federal Reserve. We're gonna talk about what it really is. We're gonna talk about what they do, how they are empowered in this nation. We're gonna talk about how they have us in slavery, right? In virtual slavery or mental slavery. I'm gonna go into it all.
Because that was deep in that video that you played where it said that they were so rich, man, that they gave loans out to France to basically prop up their economy, and that's what had me thinking about that topic, man. You're talking about crazy wealth, man. If you can pay off countries' debts and level out countries' economical balances and stuff, that's crazy wealth, man. But yeah, fire lesson, okay.
Absolutely. Hey, the Water King. And this is what they do, right? They, because they have, that wealth, that rich, family, so to speak, they can, and the U.S. has done it too, right? In about, I think it was 1902, the U.S. needed a bailout essentially, right? And when you go through the lineage and all the actions that these families have done towards the U.S. to sort of keep the U.S. propped up, right? The U.S. should have been done a long time ago, but because of these bastards, the U.S. just kept going, right? They injected money into everything and kept it going. It's like, who needs 4 billion when you have, 3 trillion, like who needs it? So, but then the thing is that instead of lending to people, what they would do is lend to countries, and they would charge massive amounts of interest on that loan to the countries, and therefore keeping the countries in check, right? And then you got the countries taking it out on their people because they need to pay this debt, right? So they start coming down on the people, you know, then they start sticking people in prisons and making money off of the people that are in prisons, or they'll give you bullshit tickets, excuse my French, you know, anything that they can do to create, to sort of get back, to create a debt, you know, so that it becomes more money for them, they're willing to do it, and they'll stop at no lengths to do it. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to go into the Federal Reserve. I'm going to go into these governments. I'm going to go into these politicians. Hey, I'm even going to go into this court system. Like, this entire world is crazy. Yo, when I tell you how deep this goes, it goes deep. And we'll never, like, they play it off so conveniently and so matter-of-factly that we'll never understand. You know, it's like when we go through the precepts, right? Like, we've all read the Bible in the past, but until we were shown certain things, you know, it never clicked until we're shown that thing, and then we're shown somewhere else, and then we're shown something else, and we start putting the story together of what the scriptures are actually talking about. Right? It literally is. It's a vicious cycle, and it's a matrix. That's what it is. And just like Neo woke up and he was considered the one, we as well need to wake up, right? So that when we wake up, then our king is going to come. Yeah, but that's all I got, Israel. Like I said, I'm gonna do more of these classes. Let me see if I go back to that one slide, the beginning slide. Let's see. Yeah. This is... Yeah, this is it. I'm gonna you know, I'll see if I can post it on the Red channel under the community section. I'll see if I can keep everybody updated on when I'm gonna bring this stuff out. But I think the pieces that are going to be the craziest are going to be the religious and political tier, the banking tier, and the celebrity high society tier. I think those three are going to be the most captivating, or the most information, because that's what we deal with the most, right? We deal with all the laws and the statutes of this land, right? We deal with the monetary value of this land, and we get influenced by the celebrities and by high society of this land, right? So, hey, y'all brothers got anything else? If not, I'm gonna close it out. Going once, going twice. Sold to the highest bidder. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Hope this has been an informative lesson to you. We love you. Keep the commandments and live. We are Yahweh's Camp. Join us next week for another War Zone Wednesday. We're going to have your brother Yashuan Ban Yahawada. He's going to bring out a mighty lesson next Wednesday. Well, that's it. Keep the commandments and live. This is your brother Mahar. Hey, Shalom.